everybody. Hello there. I hope everyone had a really nice Christmas with great food and presents and so on. Uh, I thought it was a good idea to do a video while it is not that gray, but a little bit brighter outside. I thought I was going to do this year's final vinyl and CD update. I don't have that much, but I thought it was a good idea to clean out 2020, at least for now. Who knows what will drop in later on. I have made an order to Guinness web shop, but I don't know when that will arrive. So those records I buy from there I can take in the first vinyl CD update for 2021. But I have some to show. Some actually really interesting also. Starting with the singles, vinyl singles. You know these guys. These are Bonanza. And this is the theme from Bonanza that I managed to find for a pretty low price. Of course, they've been writing on it, of course, but really nice to have, as I do have an interest in TV themes. It's really great to have, even though I'm not a huge fan of the series itself. It's really fun to have. This one was a bit of disappointment. This in concert sounds really great, and it is a recording from Paris, if I'm not wrong. The songs, it wasn't all that good actually. It was it sounded more like world music more than jazz actually, with some, and it was very little that sounded like real jazz actually. So I'm not sure am I going to keep this or call it away. Let's see what 2021 brings when it comes calling time, but I was a little bit disappointed in this one. I had higher expectations of it. This one was better. Hamp and Getz, Lionel Hampton and Stan Getz, Gladys and Louise are the titles, and these musicians. Printed in 56, so I guess it's recorded 1955 is this recording. So interesting. We take these first. We have Percy Sledge and When a Man Loves a Woman. Nice to have that one on single. And we have from 1975, Dramatics and what's A and B here? This is A. No Rebate on Love. And we have Feel It as a B-side. And I was happy for this. For $1 I managed to find a single with Curtis Mayfield, P.S. I Love You, from 1976, Party Night. I think this one is the main title. It doesn't say here which is A or B, but I think this one is the main side. Not often I found Curtis Mayfield on a 7-inch. So let's go to CDs. And this one was very interesting. Now let's says Duke Ellington's orchestra. Now what's wrong with this picture? I wanted to be a fly on the wall when the record label owner of the label Jazz World had a meeting with the art director of this cover sleeve, because this is Count Basie. Now, why are they making a record with Duke Ellington and put Count Basie on the sleeve? So I wanted to be there to when the record label owner had a discussion with the one who made this cover and said, "Do you actually realize that we have put out a 500 or million of copies of an CD with Duke Ellington and put the wrong jazz guy on the front?" I exaggerating a bit. I looked up on Discogs. There is a proper version also with Duke Ellington on the sleeve. There were some CDs that actually were with error, with the wrong guy on the sleeve, and those CDs was actually worth a little bit. So it's interesting to have, not only for the error, of course, but also because it was Ellington songs that. Well, it says is recordings from 1955 40s recording, original 40s recording. And it isn't any of the ordinary Ellington tracks. Only for that it was worth having also. So, but this one was hilariously funny when I thought, what a mistake I to make. Ella Fitzgerald, A Blue World. I bought this because I was hoping for some studio tracks with Ella and her orchestra that she took over after Chick Webb died in 1939. Not that there is anything wrong with Chick Webb's and when she sings with Chick Webb's orchestra, but it's like that as with many other big bands albums that I have. I don't really know what I have. I don't want to risk of having any duplicates, too many duplicates of songs. So this one, I thought it was Ella Fitzgerald and an orchestra, but it was a little hasty. And half of the album is with Chick Webb. But it's still great music, even though it's split up with half Ella Fitzgerald and an orchestra and half with Chick Webb and his orchestra. It's actually a great big band album, so it will stay in the collection. Last week I showed a 4 CD box set with Lee Wiley, and that I got for $1. And there were actually more Lee Wiley records when I bought it. But I didn't take those. I only focused on the box set then because I felt like that one was the most important. But then when I went back to Erikshjälpen a week later, I actually thought that why not? So I got this one as well. This is Lee Wiley sings the songs of George and Ira Gershwin and Cole Porter. The 1939 and 40 Liberty Music Shop recordings. And some of these were what she became most famous for, actually. And what she had her biggest success with. I'm going to correct myself. More cozy vocal big band music. Now we're leaving jazz for a while. No, we're not. We take this first before we're leaving jazz. Let's Misbehave, a Cole Porter collection, 1927 to 40. This was bought in pure curiosity. I listened to quick peeks of it. I was a little afraid. I showed a couple of months back a record with Hoagy Carmichael, I think it was, that wasn't all that good, where he sang himself to the piano, and it was pretty boring. But I was a little afraid that this would be the same. But Naxos Naxos normally is famous for cheap classical music, but they also have a nostalgia and jazz label that actually are really, really good. So I took a chance, and it contains some that where Cole Porter is singing himself to a piano, and it would be very interesting to hear. And also because there were some early big bands that I was very interested in, and Lee Wiley, once again, this woman sings songs on this one also, one song. But I was a little bit curious, and Quick Peek says it doesn't sound all that well. Sounds all that bad actually. So it's interesting to listen to, but fun to have when Cole Porter plays and sings himself. Now we can leave jazz for a while, and I found this for $1. Steely Dan and Alive in America, recording during their 1993 and 94 tours. So Steely Dan live, I couldn't pass on. I wanted to have it, even though it is pretty late. Steely Dan. A compilation with Swedish balladeer, jazz musician Gösta Linderholm, but he's balladeer here, and a compilation of his best songs. We have this. Bang, the greatest hits of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And the one I consider the crown jewel, one of the crown jewels this month. This box set that I found for only $1. A 3 CD box set with singles collection with Phil Collins. Released in 2016 for only $1. No, $2. Sorry, $2. But still, it's amazing price. $2 for this only 4-year-old singles compilation, and it is sorted well in right order, starting with In the Air Tonight and ending with Going Back, his then final single. So it is in a chronological order, which also is very, very fun. So amazing, great fun, yes, thing to have actually. So let's go on to vinyl. I have only 6 vinyls this month. Starting with other crown jewel. I talked in the past of the British new wave band Naked Eyes, that among others contained Rob Fisher, who would later become famous in the band Climby Fisher. And I also said that they are not that easy to find when it comes to vinyl. I managed to find one, which was on the chart of the best findings that year, but I managed to find their second album, the other album with them, Burning Bridges. And here we have Voices in My Head. We have Always Something There to Remind Me, Promises, Promises. Really great album. Costed me $8, but it was worth it. It was a really great new wave album. I'm so happy to have this one. Imagine that around 10 years ago I barely had a vinyl single with this band. Now I have 3-4 vinyl singles and 2 albums. So I'm extremely happy with this one. And at the same time, at Vinylstallet, our record store here, I also bought this Jim Messina, or Messina, Jim Messina with the album Messina from 1981. Sounds a little bit funky with some horns and so on, and the little I listened to it, quick peeks, so could be very interesting. Jim Messina. Kenny Loggins is very easy to find in record stores here, but his partner from Loggins and Messina isn't that easy actually, so great to have actually. This one is a very forgotten star that I discovered during a blind buy in a whole bunch of 10-cent singles that I bought 1 year ago, I think. And now I managed to find an entire album with the same guy, John Townley. I bought the single Slipping Away, and that one was really good. And now when I managed to find an entire album with the guy for $1, I thought, why not? More Than a Dream is the album, and it's from 1981 also. So listen to quick peeks, and it sounds actually a bit that word again, AOR, stylish of it. So actually, it's going to be very interesting. More crown jewels. How about this one? Aretha Franklin, Aretha in Paris, for 50 cent. Yes, you heard me. 50 cent. Little worn out sleeve, but album itself looks actually really good. And I listened to it. Amazing, great album. I'm not huge 60s soul, collecting 60s soul, but this one was really great. What orchestra she has in the back with a whole lot of horns, and as you know, I'm not no fan of Rolling Stones. Especially I consider Satisfaction to be one of the most overplayed songs ever. But what a fantastic version Aretha Franklin does of I Can't Get No Satisfaction on this one. So highly recommended. Interesting to see if you will see it within a week again when I do a summary of my findings 2020. But this one is highly recommended. And I also managed to find this one, also for 50 cent. Spencer Davis Group and the second album. And it's not as good shape as Aretha Franklin album, but it is still G plus, you might call it. And it's really great to have, actually. I'm not a huge fan of 60s pop, but I like Spencer Davis because they have a little touch of jazz and maybe a little Chicago without horns style sometime. And this, I listened to this one also, and it's also a really great album. Not in comparing to Aretha Franklin, that one is in a league of its own, but it's still a great album, and really great version of Georgia on My Mind, which also has a connection to jazz, but with 60s rhythm and blues funk style in it. So amazing, highly recommended album. The capture of the year, the best price I paid for records this year, no doubt. And finally, I also managed to buy this. A lot of you at vinyl community have talked about Neil Diamond, and I thought when I saw this one in a thrift store box, why not for $1? Interesting to see. This is Jonathan Livingston Seagull, motion picture soundtrack. I listened to this one, and it's a good album, but it's at its best when it is the instrumental parts. Not saying anything about his voice, but his singing in this album is a little bit unnecessary. It doesn't do anything for the soundtrack. The instrumental songs is actually doing more for the soundtrack, actually. So for me, who is not all that much into Neil Diamond, maybe this wasn't the best album to start with if I wanted to discover Neil Diamond, but still, arrangements and orchestra and everything like that is really really great actually. So for now it is something that I feel I want to keep, but let's see what happens in future callings. But it is a good album, even though I think that Neil Diamond's vocals doesn't do anything for this album. Actually, it's the instrumental songs that actually is the best. So that were the final findings for 2020. From what I know right now, who knows what happened during the couple of the last couple of days of the year. But if I find anything, I put it on the next Vinyl Seed update, of course. So I will be back one more time this year, and it is when I do my summary of 2020, my yearly year in review, of course. So until then, take care and so long.